All right, we've got Julian in Ontario, Canada. You're on with Hemant and Matt. How are you? Julian?
Hello?
Yeah, you're here, Julian. How are you?
This is Julian. I'm okay. How about you guys?
Good.
We're good. How can we help?
So I guess, yes. So I had, a question I can form it in. And I was wondering, how do you, I'm atheist, by the way, I think that's already in the description. How do you people believe in morality without believing in God?
I'll let Hemant do this since I do it every week.
I'm trying to figure out, so you believe in God. You think, is that the only reason you think you're a good person?
I don't necessarily think I'm a good person.
So what good is your belief then? I mean, if it doesn't grant you morality, if it doesn't make you good.
I believe in God. Yeah, so I believe in God, and I believe that God is the only sufficient explanation for morality.
Are there good people who don't believe in God, in your opinion?
I would say no to that.
Based on what? Why do you think they're not good?
Because Hemant and I don't believe in God, and you just basically said we're not good people. So you're going to have to defend that one.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Maybe I'll shift. Maybe I'll shift the way this is going. Maybe I'll provide an explanation as to why I think God is the only foundation for morality. Is that good?
Well, first you might want to define morality, because I think you're going to find that the only way to argue that God is the only foundation for morality is to define morality in terms of God. And I don't define morality that way.
Okay, so I would define morality as there's a right way of acting and there's a wrong way of acting.
Well, what's it mean to be right or wrong?
The good way of acting, I would say that if something is in accordance with God's nature, it's good, and if something's against God.
Yeah, you just defined morality in terms of God. Congratulations, you now have a circular argument that we can't defeat, except to point out that you have a circular argument, which means it's fallacious and we don't have to address it at all. If you define morality in terms of God, then yeah, you're going to win. Congratulations.
Okay, so do you guys believe, for example, killing is wrong?
Killing what?
Yeah.
Killing a person.
Under what circumstances?
An innocent person who did nothing wrong.
Under what circumstances? You described the person, not the circumstances.
I can give a circumstance, so I can go to my neighbor's house and kill them. Would that be wrong?
Well, without digging in and asking you for more specifics, generally speaking, I think both Hemant and I would say yes, that would be wrong, barring some unexplained circumstances.
Okay, why is that?
I hate these conversations because, again, the only reason I've been writing a website for like 15 some years now, more than that, because there's a daily flow of basically religious people doing horrible things, unjustifiable things. So, I mean, again, we're playing with hypotheticals here because it's like, well, would you do this? Well, let me add a different bunch of caveats to it.
To be fair, so you're talking about what people do, and he's talking about whatever the foundation is for characteristics. So to answer your question, Julian, why would I think it would be wrong to walk next door and just murder my neighbor? Because I define morality as having to do with the well-being of thinking creatures, much the same way that Sam Harris would. And so I would rather not live in the sort of world that allows people to just walk over and kill their neighbors, because I'd rather not be killed. And so it's in my best interest to work with other people to make sure that we're constructing the sort of world that not only discourages people from running over and killing their neighbors, because that keeps us alive, but also has some penalties in place for those people who do that. It's not that the universe says there's something specifically wrong with a human killing a human. It is entirely about, I would like to keep living, and I would like to live the best life possible. And if we allow people to run over and just kill their neighbors, that leads to a worse world for everyone than a world where we discourage that. That's it. It's the whole ball of wax.
And you don't need God for any of that.
Yeah. You just need a little empathy, and you can do it from a purely selfish thing. Like, I may not give a crap about anybody else on the planet, but if I want to live the best life I can, and I have to share space with them, I have to consider their needs. I have to consider their interest. I have to consider their well-being. And so it's a simple game theory issue about, hey, what sort of world should we live in? And it's why we point to things like John Rawls' veil of ignorance, which is design the world that you're going to live in without knowing who you're going to be. And so does your world allow for slavery? Well, what if you come in as a slave? What do you come as a slave owner? You know, you do those sorts of things. Does your world allow you to just run over and kill your neighbors? What if you're the one that dies?
Okay, so
this stuff is not as hard as people make it out to be.
So it seems like you said that if you were to go around killing people, you might get killed in return. Is that right?
Well, if I not that I would get killed in return, even if I don't ever kill anybody, if I encourage the sort of world that would allow people to kill others, then I'm at risk. I'm at a greater risk.
What if that was not the case? Like, what if you were a powerful, dictator and you can kill whoever you want, it would never affect you?
You don't think powerful dictators are at risk? We kill them all the fucking time. That's what wars are. That's what the CIA's done.
Of course. I agree they're at risk, of course. I'm just saying if someone was in that situation where they could kill someone and it wouldn't negatively affect them.
Julian, stop.
Yeah,
you don't get to pick you don't get to say, what if I can invent a fictional person who would be immune to consequences? Because that doesn't change anything. I'm talking about the real world. And this is why we have what I just talked about, which is the veil of ignorance. Design the kind of world you're going to live in, not knowing who you'll be. You don't pick the world where rich people get away with shit and hope that you're just going to wind up being a rich person. That's what you look for.
You said that you
foundations.
You said that you could kill someone. Sorry, no, you said you couldn't kill someone because it would affect you negatively.
No, that's not what I said at all. That's not what I said at all. You have to listen very carefully. I'm pretty specific.
I will. Okay.
I am against killing people because in a world where we permit that, we're all at a greater risk. This isn't about consequences. This isn't about consequences. I'm not saying I don't kill people so that I don't wind up getting killed. I'm saying I advocate for no one killing people in order to lower the risk that I get killed.
Okay, so you're valuing human life then?
Yes. You know why?
Yes. I don't know why. Why?
Because I'm a fucking human. I value my life.
Okay, but why are you?
And I value the life of the people I care about and the people that I have to share space with, because what they do affects my life and what I do affects their life. Do you think the only reason? Do you think the only? Hang on, Julian. Do you think the only reason to care about other lives is because there's a God?
I would say that's the only explanation. Yeah.
Okay. So I want you to keep believing in God forever because you're clearly dangerous. The second you stop believing God, you'll just fucking kill us all, won't you?
Yeah. Have you ever had religious doubts? Should we be scared of you?
Well, of course I have, and I wouldn't do that. But I'm saying,
why wouldn't you do it? So you just no, stop. You're done, Julian. Julian, you are done because you just acknowledged that even if you didn't believe in God, you'd do the same thing that we did, which is not run around killing people.
Yes.
Okay. Thanks for acknowledging that we were right all along.